artist. I hope you're having a good first couple of weeks of school. So before we get started on our project today, I do have some warm-up drawings for you, so you can do them all on the same piece of paper, and all you need is a pencil. Let me share my screen with all of you. So before we get started today, you know that I always give a little update on my dog Ghost. So I was walking him around Westchester this week and we saw his twin. So you can see that other white dog looked exactly like him. I tried to get a picture. And then I also turned him into a little cartoon. So let me see if I can get this to work. So there he is, a little Pixar Ghost. So our first warm-up drawing today, get your pencil ready and your piece of white paper. Draw yourself as a superhero. What would your superpower be? So you can pause me, take a couple minutes, and sketch out yourself as a superhero. And when you're ready, you can unpause and move on to the next drawing. Okay, so our next warm-up drawing is draw your favorite animal. Can't pick one, draw two. So think about your favorite animal or animals and draw them, and you can pause now and do that. And when you're ready, you can unpause and move to the next warm-up drawing. So our final warm-up drawing for today is, what is your favorite thing to eat for dinner? Draw it. Or favorite couple things if you can't decide on one. So you can pause and then unpause when you're ready to move on. Hi, third graders. We are going to be starting a fall landscape drawing today, inspired by the artist Grant Wood. So let me share my screen with you. And a little bit more about Grant Wood. This is one of his paintings. He was an American painter. He was born in Iowa in 1891. You might recognize one of his really famous paintings of the farmer and his wife, the American Gothic painting, or his painting, The Midnight Ride of Paul Revere. He was especially known for his landscape paintings, especially painting the Midwest where he grew up. So I have that highlighted on the map of the United States right there. So for our fall landscapes, you are going to be thinking of all things fall. So thinking about when fall comes to mind, what do you think of? Maybe pumpkins, maybe a farm, maybe apple picking, or think about activities you do in the fall. Maybe you want to make this more of like a Halloween landscape. You could make it a little spooky if you want to, but I want you to really get creative and incorporate as many fall things as you can in this landscape. When you're drawing your landscape, also think about starting with the horizon line. And the horizon line is where the sky meets the ground. So I know when we were younger, a lot of times I see my kindergarten artists and my first grade artists like to take their piece of paper and they draw the sky up here and they draw the ground down here and they have a big space in between. And we know in real life that doesn't happen. So you always want to have your ground meet your sky somewhere. And that's called your horizon line. Another thing I want you to think about is creating a background, a foreground, and a middle ground. So your background should be really small things to make them look like they're far away. And your foreground, everything should be a little bit bigger, making it look like it's closer to you. And I'll explain that a little bit more in my demonstration, but just something to keep in mind. So today you are going to sketch your fall landscape, thinking about all fall themed things you might include. Start with your horizon line and make things in your foreground bigger and things in your background smaller. And again, I'll go over this in my demonstration. Today we're just going to be using pencil. I want you to save this artwork until next time I see you, because next time we are going to be adding some color and doing some outlining. So you can get started, you can follow along with me. If you want to look up pictures of fall things while you're drawing, that would be awesome. And I can't wait to see what you...
All right, friends, so this is one that I started that I didn't finish, but I was thinking a farm, so I have my barn and then I have some pumpkins, and I want you to notice how, and I started painting it a little bit, but I want you to notice how I have my horizon line, and I also have things that are closer to me in my foreground are bigger, and things that are further away in my background I've drawn smaller. So it kind of creates this depth in my drawing. So when you get started, you kind of want to start with your horizon line towards the top. So I'm going to do something like this. And then this will all be the sky, and then this is the ground. Sometimes I like to draw in a little line in the middle ground to show me where that's gonna be. So I'm gonna start with maybe some pumpkins. Make them look nice and round. Maybe they're overlapping a little bit. Maybe here I have kind of like a fence, so I'm gonna draw, thinking of, I'm doing sort of a farm theme. So here's my fence. And this is just your sketch. Just get your ideas planned out. If you need to look up pictures of things, you definitely can do that. So I have my fence, I have my pumpkins. Let's do a vine. And then maybe here I have some trees. So these trees are gonna be smaller than my pumpkins, but bigger than things in the background. So maybe I have some trees sort of like this size. Some pine trees. Maybe it's like a Christmas tree farm back here. I have a bunch of them kind of gathered right there. And then maybe way back here I have my barn. So I'm going to draw it kind of small. Barn door. And there's another. And here's a little silo. So again, I'm just sketching it out, just planning it. Now maybe I want to have a road coming from the barn to here. So as that road starts, it's going to be really narrow, and then as it gets closer, it's going to get wider and bigger. So it looks like it's coming towards me. So you see how that kind of looks like it's going off into the distance? You could do the same thing with a river if you were having a river. Then if I have trees in the background, they're going to be really small. Kind of like that. And I'm thinking it might be a sunrise. So I might draw the sun coming over in the background. Maybe I want to have some fields. I'm growing some corn, and I can draw that in. I could do some animals. Maybe I want to have some more trees back here. So really get creative, think fall. But today we're just doing our sketch. So there is going to be no color adding today. I want you to really take your time and draw out your fall landscape.